Today's reading is from True Father's speech, God is our King and True Parent, at the Cannon Baptist Church, Harlem, New York. Restoration through the marriage blessing. It is possible to engraft families and even entire nations all at once. For this cause, the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, centering on my teaching, has been working to bring the kingdom of heaven on earth and in heaven through the ideal of true families. If you doubt this, please pray about it. I discovered this truth through prayers so intense that my very life was at risk. I do not think there is anyone who knows more about the spirit world and God than I do. Heaven's strategy is to allow itself to be struck first, and then to use this as a condition to take something from the other side. Satan strikes first, but in the end, he has to pay reparations. Heaven teaches us to love even our enemies. In fact, heaven ultimately requires us to love even Satan. Such love is proof that one is spiritually alive. I visited Mikhail Gorbachev and Kim Il-sung in order to practice God's true love by loving my enemies. Persecution plays into God's strategy for us to inherit all of Satan's rights to ownership. Individuals and even the entire cosmos opposed me, but this opposition only served as my opportunity to develop further. You must come to know God with certainty. This is why the international holy blessing ceremonies I have officiated in the name of the true parents in the face of opposition have liberated the God who has lived in sorrow and grief due to the fall of the first human ancestors. These ceremonies transcend racial and national differences and break down the barriers between enemies. I've always taught that we must maintain absolute purity before marriage and absolute fidelity after the holy blessing of marriage. By doing so, we can build a family that incarnates God's 4 attributes of absolute, unique, unchanging, and eternal love. A man who is created in this way, as the reciprocal partner of true love, represents heaven, or half the universe, and a woman who is created in the same way represents the earth, the other half. Aju.
Anyway, last week, several days, almost the entire week, from Monday to Friday, I was in Las Vegas with several of our members and leaders from our community in Las Vegas, attending our national leadership conference, FamiCon. And it was a great experience there. And at the end, we had surprisingly, True Mother came. We didn't know anything about that. And I had when True Mother heard that we are there and all the pastors and leaders from around the country is in a workshop, then suddenly she decided to come and meet with us. And that was the like the cherry on top of cake, kind of very surprising thing, very enjoyable. We had a very wonderful message from True Mother. That was great. Also, the beginning part was totally dedicated 3 days fully about True Parents' life. For me personally, this is first time I'm attending a whole True Parents Day workshop, and I listened to True Parents Day, part of my 7-day workshop or 21 days training programs, maybe 2-3 presentations. But this one was very, very elaborated, thorough program, totally about True Parents' life. And it was really great. And my biggest realization after that workshop was, I need to learn more about True Parents' life, because it's even this 3 days couldn't cover everything deeply, and some of the things we never heard about before, and even that the lecture manual we received, there was a 1,000-page folder we received, and our lecturer, Mr. Kachi, Reverend Kachi, could not go through everything, but I hope we will have more programs in English. Headquarters is planning to provide English programs around the country. I hope in near future we will be able to attend more workshops like this. And one of the things, while I was listening to the True Parents' life, trying to understand that more deeply, was we need to understand True Parents' life in order for us to understand God clearly. And Heavenly Parent is our parent. We, as the children of Heavenly Parent, need to really understand Heavenly Parent in order to, actually we are created as the image of God. We are supposed to be living as an image of God, leading a life like God, but many times we do not understand God properly. And in order for us to understand God properly, we really have to understand true parents, our true parents who are the living embodiment of God. Then we can understand God properly. Then only we will be able to really understand God, then we can lead a good life, a proper life. And let me read a small Bible passage which all of you know, and I know almost everyone in our church know this Bible passage. And it's from Genesis 1, 27 and 28. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God created them, male and female, God created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. And sometimes I feel for unificationists, this is the Bible passage. It is many times in Christianity, this is not that important. They don't quote this as much as we. But even for me, I never remember this before I joined unificationists, before I joined our church. But for us, this is the first blessing. This is the right after God created us. God blessed humanity with this blessing and allow us to, God expected us to live that way, according to that blessing. But when we look at the present situations, or even we look at the history, or even in the biblical history, it doesn't look like humanity understood this properly. Even in biblical history, when we look at marriages, we don't always see one man and one woman standing together and leading a family. Many times you would see families with the one man with the several wives, and then they think that's a big blessing. Having many wives is a bigger blessing. Is that the way God blessed us? No. How has God blessed us? With one man, one woman. That's the way God blessed our ancestors, Adam and Eve. But that's not the way humanity understood what blessing is. And not only that, they, instead of living as a blessed community, as a blessed nation, or as a blessed world, they were really leading a satanic lifestyle, cheating each other, stealing from one another, and mistreating men and women each other. And even in Bible we can see men tend to treat women as their property. Is that right? No way. But many times then they think, oh, that is lot of blessing. I have lot of wives, lot of cows, lot of land. What kind of blessing is that? Cow blessing. You got it. And people think they can fool around and they can do anything they want, then they can be happy. And even in order to change this, God sent many prophets, and God sent even Jesus, the only begotten Son of God, to change that. But I don't think people get it. Jesus did not even get a chance to convey that fully. And Jesus was killed even before Jesus got married. Jesus was able to start a blessed family. And one time, Pharisees were asking Jesus a question that, Jesus, is it okay we divorce for some reason or maybe any reason? Can we do that? And let me read what was Jesus' answer, which is from Matthew 19, 4-6. Haven't you read, he replied, that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female and said, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. This is Jesus' answer for a question, is it okay to divorce for some reason or any reason? Isn't it clear? Is it okay? Everyone sleeping? Or shocked? Numb? What is the answer? It's a no. A straight no, and again reminding people that you are created as a male and female, then you are destined to be together. Everyone born of a family from their parents, and even from that parents, living with that parents, then get ready, and then you leave to be one with your wife or one with your husband. Then once they are together, they eternally become one body, one flesh, and after that you are not supposed to separate. That's what Jesus replied. But Pharisees weren't satisfied with that answer. They again asked them, Jesus, don't you know that our prophet Moses commanded that? That's not in the reading. I did not put that on the screen. Moses commanded that you can divorce. You just need to give a certificate and give it to your wife, then everything is over. That's the way they understood. Didn't Moses commanded that you can give a certificate of annulment of divorce, then you are divorced. Then that wife has to go back. I don't know how she can go back to her parents' home, or I don't know where she can go, but it's done. Then Jesus replied to him, that's because your heart was hard. That's why Moses allowed you to do that, not because it was supposed to be. Originally, it was not supposed to be that way, but because you do not understand love, that's why Prophet Moses allowed you to do that. But in the beginning, it wasn't that way. That was Jesus' answer, where can we divorce? Jesus said, the answer is very clear. You are created to be together with one man and one woman. Together you become one body, one flesh. Then let no man separate that union. Let no man separate that blessed life. That way, if you remember the last passage of today's reading, a man who is created in this way as the reciprocal partner of true love represents heaven and or half of the universe. A woman who is created in the same way represents the earth, the other half. So let no man destroy that heavenly creation. That was Jesus' answer. But even after 2,000 years from Jesus' life, what do we see now? Do we see everyone together, all couples happily married, living together with their children and getting prepared their children to leave and find their spouse and then again start another blessed life, another blessed family? Do you see that always? Are you sure? Let me show you some statistics. Like I was looking into some details. What is the percentage of divorce? What is the rate of divorce? This is in America, but some countries have even higher, some countries a little lower. In America, right now, in up to 2014, 41% of marriages, first-time marriage, people who marry first time, 41% of marriages end up in divorce. But sometimes, some of them, they don't give up on marriage, but they want to restart, they want to start another life with another person by hoping that they can make a happy life. But 60% of those second marriages, they ended up in divorce. Then again, based on third marriages, 73% get into divorce. That means the more and more you tried, it did not help anyone to make a better family. In some cases, of course, it may really help people to make a better life. But majority of those second and third marriages end up in more trouble. And sometimes we have people really committed into marriage. They start a second marriage, then they may able to really make a good life. Things happens like that, but it's an advisable thing to divorce someone and then by thinking that I'm going to make a better life, I don't like this wife and I don't like that husband. No, God bless us to be together, and in order to, even before that, God wants us to be fruitful by making us prepared to go to that marriage. Then we can make a blessed marriage. Then we can make a blessed family. From that we can make a blessed nation and the world. But here, right now, the whole world, the culture is supporting divorce. The culture is an anti-marriage culture. The culture doesn't support families. And that's why it is kind of without a family, God cannot be in this world. It is not a world as planned the way God planned. God was planning this world to be a happy world when God's created man and woman come together and then they create a happy family and then expand into a happy world. But when that doesn't happen, families cannot be happy, communities cannot be happy, world cannot be happy. And even in our personal life, I know sometimes I get into argument with my wife. Not always. Sometimes. Then my kids become so sad. And imagine kids who go through that always. Kids who experience, kids who never able to experience a happy life in their home. There are kids who never see their parents, their father and mother take care of each other properly. And there are kids who never had a chance to live in this world with their father and mother. And there are families who are never able to overcome their struggle. Their families or husband and wives never give priority to overcoming their struggle. And imagine kids who always live their life just with a father in their home or just with a mother in their home. Actually, that is the majority of, I heard like almost more than kind of 60 or some percent of kids of this divorced parents live just with the mother in their home. Either I think close to 70% or something, just with their mother. And they never had experience having a father in their home. And sometimes, even if there is a stepfather or stepmother, still it is not the same as having their own father or mother in their home. And many times in our communities, we don't see this kind of extreme cases. But I'm sharing about this because the entire humanity are created in a way to live as God's children, as an embodiment of God, as a husband and wife. They stand together, and even if they have difficulties and struggles, they work together and overcome their struggles. And I respect those families who have struggles, but still being together and trying to achieve that God's dream of establishing that ideal family here, going through the difficulties. To me personally, that is one of the most difficult thing I face, and I want to overcome, and I want to lead our community towards, is that having a great family life. Our families are being attacked from right and left. Our children are being attacked from all around. Our young families who are starting their family life, attacked from all around. And then they get many times advised, or even if you look into internet for support, most of the time it's a guidance to how to get divorced. That is the same thing Satan gave advice in the very beginning. Even before Adam and Eve started their family, Adam and Eve, in their growing age, Satan told them, "You are not really enjoying your life. Why don't you enjoy your life? Come on, I tell you, I'll show you how to enjoy life really. God told you all these things, don't do this, don't do. You don't have to listen to all those things. Your life is to enjoy. Come, I'll show you." And that's the way Satan took away that first family. Satan claimed that first family, destroyed that first family, and ever since then, it's going on the same way. And God tried by sending his own son, Jesus. But Satan, able to hijack that plan also, killed Jesus. Nobody could understand the purpose of Jesus' coming. And now, again, at the time of our true parents, our true Father came as the second coming of Jesus, the only begotten Son, and was able to find our true mother, the only begotten daughter of God, and able to stand together first time in the history with the proper understanding of who God is, and trying to teach us, trying to show us what is God's blessings. What does it mean, that primary blessing we have received in the very beginning? What does it mean? And then they bless all of us. Bless us in marriage and ask us to lead a blessed life and share that blessed life with other people. And sometimes, believe me, even if you struggle in your marriage, even if you have difficulty in your marriage, it is still better than not having that family, not raising your children together. And I know sometimes some families, because of their cultural differences, maybe because of ancestral difficulties, struggle a lot. But still, for the sake of God, for the sake of their children, they continue. They live together. And last week, but God is again and again telling us it is possible for us to recreate the divine family. In the today's Hundaka reading, let me use that one more time. Let me read that beginning, how we started. That reading is from a speech True Father gave in New York City, in Harlem, in 2001. That speech was given in Canaan Baptist Church. Probably there must be many Christian leaders there. In front of all of them, Father is saying that it is possible to engraft families and even the entire nation all at once. For this cause, the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, centering on my teachings, has been working to bring the kingdom of heaven on earth and in heaven through the ideal of true families. If you doubt this, please pray about this. Telling to all those ministers, Christian leaders, and everyone about restoring this world. And it is saying specifically that, centered on True Parents' teachings, we are working to restore families and even entire nations at once. You know that we have this huge blessing goals, having 1 million blessing by 2020. It sounds like a very, very crazy idea. How can we do that? How many people we even have to do in one day? Things like that, we can think that way. But God's heart is, God's heart can't rest, can't have any peace when God's children is suffering. Our goal is to bless 1 million people by 2020. But in America, we have more than 1 million divorces happening in a year here. In order to stop that erosion of family culture, the destruction of families, God is asking us to do that. And it is not just about even achieving that number. At this time, in fact, day before yesterday morning, Friday morning, our true mother mentioned about that. Even in our church, many of our members going out in the street, and we are doing blessings in the street and blessing in our homes and organizing blessings in small groups and everywhere. In order to stop that erosion of families, erosion of marriages, we need to stop that. We are trying our best. But even that, sometimes you hear that you need to finish 430. It's not about achieving that 430. It's about achieving reaching up to every human being in this world. Connecting everyone and telling them that who God is. God is your heavenly parent, and He created you in order to live a happy life in your family, with your husband, with your wife, with your parents, to be a happy, create that heavenly kingdom, that ideal within our family. But when that doesn't happen, God cannot be happy. We cannot be happy. Can our children be happy? No way. Here, True Mother said to us, tribal messiahship does not end with blessing 430 families. It is when all blessed 430 families also each complete the blessing of 430 families, that a national level foundation capable of expanding to the world can be established. In so doing, we can realize the long-awaited wish of Heavenly Parent and humanity. The world of one family under the Heavenly Parent. Please understand that looking at today's reality, this can be accomplished. Do you understand? True Mother is encouraging us. When we see that reality, what I showed earlier, the rate of divorce, we can get depressed. But what True Mother is saying that, looking at today's reality, this can be accomplished, creating one family under Heavenly Parent. It can be accomplished. How many of you have that bumper sticker? We have one family under God. Yeah, some of you have that. That is something, even though not all of you have on your bumper sticker, that is something written in our heart. That is something we all want to achieve. We need to achieve that. That's what our True Mother telling us, asking us. That's because God is asking her. And she's saying, it is not about we achieve that 430 families and then we say, hey, I went out the street and gave for 430 people or families, gave the holy wine. I'm done. True Mother is saying, no, it doesn't finish there. You need to make sure that all those 430 families who you blessed will be able to do the same thing. What does that mean? It has to continue. What does that mean? That means the people who you are blessing need to understand who God is and what God is expecting from us and how we should live a life in our families. And when they understand that, they will continue that. And when they continuously teach everyone, it will never finish until we reach each and every human being in this world. That's what our True Mother asking us to do. It is not about the number, but it's about creating heavenly kingdom here on this world, here in our families, here in this our own little community. In a way, it should automatically continue forever. In order to do that, only if we fully understand who our Heavenly Parent, how we embody that Heavenly Parent in our life, we can do that. And that happens only when we understand how we should live our family, within our family. How true parents are living in their life, in their family. If the world is, as I earlier mentioned, the world is continuing with one husband and 15, 20 wives, it's not sustainable. And when polygamy or even polyandry is the norm, is the culture, it is not a balanced lifestyle. We need to change that. In order to change that, we need to understand God clearly. And that's why recently True Mother speaking about the importance of teaching about true parents. Let me share that passage True Mother continued in her speech. With regards to true parents, we must make sure that there is no one among all of humanity that does not know about true parents. Moreover, the fact that the only begotten daughter, True Mother, is here right now and is leading the current providence is something all of humanity should know. For so many centuries, the culture was always a male figure is totally in control of everything. Maybe in some cultures, a little bit different. Even if it is totally opposite, if a female figure is completely in control and controlling everything, that also doesn't work. I know that because the state I came from, we have a small community, a particular caste in India, in my state. They had, the way they were controlling was, in that community, females were in control. Men did not have any control. That also did not work. Everywhere, in order to work, it has to, in order for a community to be proper, God's plan has to be implemented. The way God created us, a male and female standing together as the embodiment of God, then they make that relationship an absolutely united relationship which no one can separate. And in order to understand that, we need to understand our true parents. Our true parents led an exemplary life as father and mother together. But many times, people did not understand that properly. People thought that, no, that's only father is in charge. And mother, that's why our true mother is trying to correct that mistake happened. And that happened because historically, for all these thousands of years, that was happening. So people misunderstood. That's why True Mother is saying that you need to talk about me. And I came here as the begotten daughter of God in order to restart that divine family God created. When we understand that, we will be able to teach others properly. We will be able to have proper marriages in our life. And then we can do that. And here, it is so important us to understand that in order to stop the satanic culture and save the world, and specifically, True Mother is coming to America because True Mother saw a great potential here. Let me read the conclusion of True Mother's speech. It's because I saw that potential in America that I suddenly came here. We shall realize the restoration of the nation and the restoration of the world without fail. Isn't that so? What do you think? We need that. In Jesus' time, Jesus could not show a model family to people of that time. Even before he was able to do that, people killed him. Religious leaders were hijacked by Satan, and they were the instruments of Satan that time, and they killed Jesus. And then Jesus could not show what is a proper family. And that's why, up until now, nobody could show that. Nobody could truly inherit the real family, the true family model. And now, Our true parents, after their advent, they started talking about that, and now True Mother specifically talking about the role of both of them, and we are able to see that. Now, again, I felt True Mother see America is the country which have most prepared foundation in order to really establish the true heavenly kingdom by establishing true heavenly families. And that's why True Mother is saying that. When I read that passage of True Mother, it is because I saw that potential that I suddenly came here. We shall realize the restoration in the nation, realize the restoration of the nation and the restoration of the world. I believe True Mother is saying that America has the potential, which means America is ready. What does that mean? When True Mother says America has potential means True Mother trusts us. True Mother see potential in us and potential in the people who we are working with. Potential in people we are working with through ACLC, through Women's Federation, through UPF. They are listening to True Mother constantly, several times, and they get it. And we are the ones who can understand that more than anybody in the world. And if we do not understand and act upon this, the world is again going to be in trouble. We cannot let that happen. We have to save this culture of marriages in order to save our families, in order to save our children. Then only we can truly, truly live a happy life. You know, few months ago, I realized everything you look upon from our media, in the internet, you won't get the right thing. You would get a distorted version of what you are looking for. It started with something I needed, a picture of an apple. I was looking for for something I needed a picture of an apple. That's why I searched on the internet. But I could not see any of that. I didn't get even a single picture of an apple. Instead, can you say what all came? Pictures of this phone, pictures of Apple computers and their website, and then some Apple logo with that Apple picture, like this picture, Apple's logo. I didn't find anything. I was looking for a real Apple picture. Then everything came totally different. Then I feel funny about that. Then I just see what is it. Then I just type window, because that's also another computer software thing. That also always Microsoft things came. And I don't know, it's just that day or. Then I Googled, because it sounded funny. It looked very funny. I Googled love. Then everything I saw, like half-naked men and women holding hands each other, some of them with alcohol in their hand. That's what I saw, love. And try that today in your computer. And maybe if you're lucky, maybe you may see some families. I didn't find any family picture there when I Google for love. But where does love start? It starts from the family. It starts in the presence of God, in the presence of a parent and children in a family. But that's not love for anyone. In the media, you won't get that. And that's what I mean. Our children are totally bombarded with the wrong message. And that's why we need to be crazy. We need to go out and talk about this to everyone. We need to protect our children. We need to equip our children to be able to resist this satanic attack on them. And sometimes you feel like we are alone and we can't do it. But if we together, if as a community, if we do together, we can do that. We can achieve that. We have to be united on that. And I mentioned to you earlier that some of our members go in the street and do the blessings. That's one way. That's a great way. If all of us can do, that's great. But I'm not asking all of you to do that, but believe in what our true Father said. It is possible to restore this world through marriage blessing. Believe that. That believing is even more important than you do that. Once you believe in your heart, when you return down in your heart, just as some of you have that bumper sticker saying that one family under God, paste that onto your heart, inside you. In a way, nobody can take that away. In a way, you see everything. If you look into, if you search about family, you may not even see families with a man and woman together. Still, you have to believe the way God created, the way Jesus reminded us again. When you have that in your heart, nobody can remove that. You will be able to pass that down to your children, and you will be able to pass that down to people you are blessing. And we can do that. But I want to ask you to get involved. You can get involved in many different ways, hundreds of ways. You know, some of us go and bless in the street. And True Mother mentioned that. You can't just leave them like that. You need to educate. If you're not so much about going out in the street, let's get involved in educating those new people. Letting them know what is God's love, what is God's expectation towards them. Or you can get involved in having our Divine Principle education programs here, our Sunday school here. That's a part of that. We are educating our children. We are going and meeting a politician and talking about the importance of family and educating. We had recently, through UPF, we did a program in Irvington Town Hall. That's the way. And having Women's Federation recently did a blessing with, I think, with the 21 people. I think Mrs. Nelson's, their small group did that. That's a way. When we do that, we are standing together with God, together with true parents, in order to save this country, in order to save this world, in order to save your family, your marriage, and your children's current marriage, maybe future marriage. You know, my children started high school, and sometimes they come back and talk about their discussions about future marriage and things like that. They start talking about that. But more than, if we don't talk about that, what they hear is from this internet. When they search about marriage, I don't know, I did not do that. I don't know what comes from that. Maybe they will get first information, how do you get divorced, even before they get married. That's why we really need to, even if it sounds crazy and feel like it's not possible to achieve, we need to achieve. We have to work. Then only our children will be able to live. Otherwise, they will die. They will lose their life. And in our community, we have around 25 small group communities, small communities. And almost 2.5 years ago, I reestablished that in order to take care of our community properly, but only some of that communities are active. I want to really request all of our community leaders, please be active in take care of your small community. Help me in pastoring to the community. When you do that, you are truly supporting, helping God's dream of establishing heavenly kingdom here. I can do many more things when you help me to take care of our community by taking care of around 10 people you have, community leaders have in your community. And by doing so, you are even taking care of your children and your future grandchildren. So I ask you, please help me as community leaders. And also, for all of our providential organizations, let us come together and let's work together. In fact, from last year, we are doing that. And we truly want to achieve that for the sake of our families, for the sake of our marriages, so that we can keep God in our marriage. Today is a little longer service, but I really felt, our true mother, our true parents, they are investing everything they have. They are putting their life online in order to save us. Every time I hear about couples having difficulties, it really pains me. And every time I hear about some of our young people going through tremendous difficulties in their marital life, thinking about separating, thinking about divorce, that make me painful and make me even cry more than even someone pass on the spirit world. Because for God, that is death. Even serious than passing on to the spirit world. That's why, for God, it's a life and death battle. For two parents, it's a life and death battle. For all of us, it's a life and death battle. If we give up on this, our lineage is gone. Our children are destroyed and nothing left. When True Mother heard that, all the pastors and all of our church leaders are in Las Vegas, she immediately decided to come. I know how difficult it is to travel. I could not even overcome from I came back from Korea almost 3 weeks ago. Before I went to Las Vegas, I wasn't recovered. Then I wonder how our true parents, they do this. True Father, even when he was 92 years old, he was traveling all the time for the sake of all of us. True Mother, 76 years old. Isn't it 76 or 78? And she came back, just took a quick decision and came here to meet with all of us and remind us that. And telling us that you are the ones I trust the most. You are the ones who have an ability to change the world. She believed in American members. Do you believe in yourself? Only one person. Oh. All of us. Do you think we can do this? Yes. Even if we still struggle, even if we have difficulty, let's do this. We started this new spring here from last week or 2 weeks ago. Last week we spring forward. Let's make this spring, we can work together as a community for the sake of our families, for the sake of our children, and for the sake of the whole world, so that we can laugh together all the time, so that we can really you can really enjoy your life all the time. And for love, you don't have to go to the bars and be half naked. That's what when I saw, when I searched about love, that's what they show me. Oh, this is love. This is excitement. I saw at the very last, the conclusion ceremony of the Famicon, we started singing together with our wonderful Apple Heaven band. I was so happy to see them there, especially because they all from New Jersey, except Jonathan, Mr. Gallery, all of our band members from New Jersey. Anyway, we were happily dancing and singing together. I could see everyone so happy, so excited, even more than the people who I used to see when I used to go to the bars for selling flowers. I used to see people dancing like crazy after getting drunk. But here I saw people were so excited more than them by knowing that True Mother is coming next morning, by knowing that we can do it together. And let's have true excitement in our life. Let's have true love in our life so that we can truly, truly enjoy all the time. It's not an enjoyment for just one day, not an excitement because of some drug come onto our head, not a high because of some alcohol or drug, but an excitement which stays forever because of the presence of God in our life, because of the love we receive from our spouse, because of the love we give to our children, because of the beauty and happiness and love we receive back from our children. Let's be totally, totally joyful as a family, as a community. Let's work here together so that we can bring back, even smile back in God's face, in true parents' face, and all of us can live together happily, eternally. Let's work together this coming few weeks. I want to share with you some plans we have, and also I want to discuss with all of you how can we achieve that together. And I'm really, truly looking forward for all of your participation. Without everyone's participation, we can't. Can you all commit in something you do to achieve this? Yes. Can you be with me? Yes. Can you be with our true parents? Yes. Can you be with our God, our heavenly parent, so that we can build a nation, a restored nation of blessed families, a blessed nation? Can we do that? Yes. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, my dear blessed brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. God bless you.